All right, so today is our last class. Yay, boo, however you feel about that. So today is literally, we're just gonna talk business stuff. We're gonna talk the end of the semester. We're gonna talk what I'm asking of you, what I'm going to be lenient on, all that sort of stuff. So to begin, first off, I just typed in the chat, and I'll type it again for those of you who just arrived. Basically, this was my first time teaching this version in a synchronized online setting. So because of this, any feedback you have for me would be very helpful. This is the John Jay Evaluations website where you can do student evaluations of me. It gives you basically, you grade me, and then also any thoughts or comments you have. I'll email it out as well, and I'll also put it in the chat. If you thought I sucked and want to make sure nobody has to suffer through what you suffered through, you're welcome to say that. I will not be able to see these evaluations till after grades are in. So you are welcome to say anything you want. And they're also anonymous as long as you don't sign your name to it. So say what you want and give the department and me an idea of what I can improve on, what you think worked for future semesters, because I'll be teaching this online again in the fall. And I want to make sure that any things that didn't work this time are better for the next go around. It's a stupidly long HTML, so I will email it out. And also it's in the chat if you want to do it. It's going to take you like 10 minutes to fill out. I would greatly appreciate it. So if at all you thought I was halfway competent and you want to say so, more importantly, just anything that you think worked or didn't work, feel free to fill it out on that site. You've got until Monday, I think, to finish filling them out. And I'll probably email it you guys a couple days over the weekend. Sorry to be annoying, but that's that. Any question on the first business point, or can I check it off the list?
You're good.
Okay. Talk about grading me. And again, this is your opportunity to be as harsh on me as you want. Secondly, papers. Paper 2 is due. Thank you, AO. Paper 2 is due today. By that, I mean 11:59 p.m. tonight. However, some of you have already asked for extensions. Just about anyone who asked for an extension, you got an extension, be it for the religious holiday yesterday or for anything else. So if you are thinking you are not going to be able to finish the paper by tonight, some of you have already turned it in, so congratulations on being done. Anyone who, even though it's the day the paper's due, if you forgot about it or something came up and you need an extension, just email me. I'm being very lenient with them. I want this. I know this has been a rough semester on everyone. I know we're exhausted from over a year of COVID. And so if you need an extension, absolutely, please just reach out to me and just let me know what extension you need and we can work something out. As I said last week, the only downside is unless I told you directly otherwise because something came up or I made a mistake, if you ask for an extension, I'm not going to be able to give you full feedback on your final copy. So if you wanted like in-depth comments like on paper 1, I do need it by tonight, just so I have time to write out the comments on all those papers before you turn them in, or before they go into the grade book. So if you want full feedback, I do need it today. If you don't care about full feedback, I will absolutely give you extra time to finish the paper. Also, if you want feedback, right on the top of your paper, like type in, I want feedback. If you don't type anything, or if you've turned it in and forgotten, email me, let me know that you would like feedback. I don't want to write out lots of feedback if you never read it. I'd much rather save it, put in the effort on the people who are going to read it. So it's just, and again, I won't judge you if you say yes, I won't judge you if you say no. I win either way. Either it's a sign that somebody was interested or it's less work for me. Either way, I win. So just say, I would like feedback on your paper. So if you turn in the paper and now realize you want feedback, just shoot me an email. I'll make sure you get that feedback. Any questions on the paper stuff? And again, it's just, you write on one of the 3 prompts like last time. And if you need an extension, reach out and let me know. Any questions on that? Nope. All right, awesome. In that case, we can move on to number 3. So I did not talk about them much since the first class, but there were discussion boards on the Blackboard. There are discussion questions on the Blackboard, 1 each week. If for some reason you fell behind or didn't do them, what I'm saying is I'm not going to take off any points if you just take care of them now. It's been COVID, things have been crazy. I'm sure many of you have gotten sick or had family members who got sick or were juggling many things. Also, just staring at a computer screen is exhausting. So basically, go onto the Blackboard. If you have not filled them out yet, just go and fill them out as soon as you can. The fact is, I'm probably not going to get to grading them until the middle of next week. And they're just going to be, basically, if you answer the question and don't just type the letter A 16 times, you're going to get the full pass credit for it. So do not worry about it too much. Just get it done. I do not want anyone who was great during the semester simply because they forgot about discussion questions or anything else to have their grades suffer. So just go to the Blackboard, fill out any discussion questions you haven't had a chance to do yet. Now I will not ask any questions about why they're late or anything like that. If you get them done by, let's say, end of Wednesday, next Wednesday at 11:59 p.m., I won't take off any points as long as the discussion questions are done. After that point, I'm going to need you to reach out to me and let me know, like, I haven't had a chance to do it yet, something like that. I just want to make sure that if you forgot about any discussion questions but have been following along all semester, you're not fully penalized. This semester was hard enough already without, stupid arbitrary deadlines on discussion questions that were really just to make sure you did the reading. Any questions on that? And again, they were like 1 paragraph answers each. So, and I will not take off any points if you do them. If you do all of them this weekend, no points off, no questions asked, just get them done. Any questions on that? And if you did them, great. Yaris.
No. I just want to say thank you for that, because I missed definitely some of those questions.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know I didn't talk about them all that much, which is another thing I should have reminded you all, but COVID was hard on all of us. So all of our mind, like there were weeks that I forgot I was supposed to look at them. So, I can't expect you all to be on top of them. If I have trouble being on top of them, that wouldn't be fair. So yeah, just go back through, fill them all out. And again, I'm not grading these on like how excellent they are. It's literally just, did you do them? So yeah, that's that. Any questions on this stuff?
No.
Okay, perfect. So that's the next thing. All right, final grades. Final grades are due on the 28th. What that means is anything you turn in and you want graded, like at all, I cannot accept anything. Your grades will be into the official book on the 28th, and it will be very difficult for me to change them after the 28th. So if you turn in a paper, you're like, Professor, I was working real hard. Here it is, it's the 29th. That is too late. What this also means is I need a couple days before the 28th to get stuff done. So if you need an extension, I gave you an extension for a certain date, and you're still running behind or you need more time, please reach out. Basically, if you and I are in communication, I can give you about as close to the 28th as possible to get your work in. If you go radio silence and then reach out to me on the 27th or 28th, it's gonna be too late for me to get the stuff into the grade book. So basically, treat this, so once I enter the grades into CUNY first, you see them right away. Yes. Now, because of COVID and everything else, this does mean that you will not see the grades in CUNY first until the 28th, because I'm going to wait until the last minute to put them on CUNY first. So if you turned in all your work and you want to know what your grade is ahead of time, or you're a little worried about your grade and you want to make sure, you think there's a chance that you tried to email me something and I didn't get it, and you want to make sure that I got it before it gets into the grade book and becomes difficult to change, email me ahead of time. Just be like, hey, Professor, I'm curious what grade I'm going to get in the class. I'm happy to walk through with you on the grade, anything else. Once the grade is in, it is harder to talk about and change. And unless it's the sort of thing where I made like if I forgot to include a paper in your grade and I give you an F, simply because I didn't see it and that fault is on me, I will of course change it. But if it's the sort of thing where you're like, I thought I deserved this grade, but you gave me this grade, If you're worried about that going into it, email me ahead of time, because once it's in the grade book, all I will really be able to do is talk through and explain to you why the grade is what it is. Generally speaking, once it's on CUNY first, unless I have made a glaring mathematical mistake, your grade will be more or less set in stone. So if you're curious ahead of time, if you're worried and you don't want to wait till the 28th, just reach out to me. I'm happy to talk to you. I'm happy to do the math in front of you to show what grade you're going to get. That's all on that front. So yeah, anyone who has any questions, worries on that front, just feel free to reach out. If you're working on if the discussion questions, other stuff has come up and you can't get them in by the Wednesday at 11:59, again, just reach out. Basically, the more you're in touch with me, the more you can, basically, I want to be able to give you guys as much benefit of the doubt as possible because of how hard these past couple semesters have been on everyone. So the more you stay in communication with me, the more questions you ask, the more I can know what's going on. And even if it's like the 28th and you still haven't turned in your paper, if you've been talking to me the whole time and letting me know like, yes, I finished this, no, I didn't finish that, this is where I'm at, I'm going to be able to know like, oh, this, I can count on this person to get it in by the end of the day. So yeah, long story short, papers officially due today, but if you need an extension or have an extension, reach out. Just let me know when you need the extension by. If you get an extension, I'm not going to be able to give you full comments except in extreme cases in which we talked about it and the mistake was on my end. If you haven't done any discussion questions yet, if there are any you're missing, go back, finish them now. As long as they're in by Wednesday, no questions asked. If you need a little more time than that, just reach out, let me know. Final grades are due on I have to put them into the grade book on the 28th. If you would like me to tell you what your grade is ahead of time or go through the math on it, just reach out. The Gmail address and the John Jay address go to the same place, so whichever one works better for you, you're welcome to do. And that is that. Any questions on any of this business stuff?
No.
Okay.
Actually, I have a question.
Yes.
So afterwards, can we ask you like what we got on our paper? Like,
yes, absolutely. Yeah. If if you're somebody who wanted comments, I'll give you the full paper back with the feedback. If you're somebody who's turning it in with an extension or didn't want comments, I won't send it back to you, but you're welcome to ask me what you got. At any point, any question about the grade, you can ask me. What did I do on the weekly assignments? How was my participation? Any of that stuff, you are welcome to ask me. Even if it's something like, I don't know what my current standing is, and I'm curious what I need to get on the final paper to get a B in the class. Email me, I'll let you know. Any other questions on that?
Is it no for me? I'm good for now.
Okay, perfect. The last thing I'll say about that is with the extensions, if you want to email me a copy of the paper, that is okay. If you want to post it to the Blackboard still, that's okay. Just get it on there and I will get it. Basically what I'll do is if there's anyone in my grade book that is listed as not having been graded yet, I'll look through the Blackboard for a copy and I'll scan through my email for a copy and I will do my absolute best to find it. And if I don't find one, I'll probably reach out to you and be like, where's your paper? Unless you're somebody who's never attended class, but in that case, I wouldn't be talking to you right now anyway. So, so that is all the business stuff. Give me 1 second. So last thing I just want to do is thank you all. I know that this is not been an easy semester. I know a lot of you have had to deal with personal stuff. It's not been an easy year. Health stuff of your own or health stuff of families, or just trying to learn in an environment that is not conducive. There's people around you, you're sharing a computer, you're having to do your work late at night because other people are working in the house during the day. So I just wanted to say thank you all for sticking with it through the semester. I thank you all, even those of you who felt like you didn't do as well as you would have done in person. That is expected. This is not easy. What they're finding is through COVID, lots of jobs working just as well remotely. Lots of experiences similar remotely, but teaching being a student, not as easy remotely. So those of you who simply making it through is something you should be proud of. Really, this was not an easy year for you all, and it was not an easy year for me, and don't beat yourself up if you found it hard. And so thank you all for sticking with me and being here. I know sometimes I lose some of you to the excitement of the internet. I mean, I've been on the student side of things. I understand it's hard. No offense taken. Watching somebody talk in a computer screen in front of a webcam is not the most engaging thing. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for your participation. I hope you all learned something on the topic of things to learn, and you can keep your eye out for cyber ethical things in the news. There was a big one this week. Did anyone follow the big cyber ethical issue that came up this week?
No, I think there was the pipeline got ransomware.
There was a giant ransomware attack on the major pipeline, which brings oil from the Gulf of Mexico up to the East Coast. So a lot of states like Virginia, Georgia, Florida, they are out of gasoline right now because there was a ransomware attack. So you will be able to, a lot of the things that we talked about this semester will come up. There's another interesting one that I've been reading about of another type of cyber attack, which is this mysterious thing called Havana Syndrome. Have people heard of what Havana Syndrome is?
This one I did not hear about. Google didn't recommend it to me.
Yeah, it's this fascinating thing that they've been following. Basically, what they found is there's like 100 people, US diplomats and other people working in the government who over the past 20 years, when stationed overseas, especially in Havana, Cuba, and also in other places, where they have been developing mysterious brain conditions. So like they get stationed there, nobody knows what's going on, but then they come back having weird ringing in their ears. Some of them have developed Parkinson's and other things, and no one really knows what's going on. And there's this chance, people are theorizing that maybe it's some sort of secret microwave weapon that is being deployed on people in these things. And like, this is another one where like modern technology is doing these, could be attacks. No one really knows what's going on. So that's another story worth following. Where just
Professor, like, quick question.
Yeah.
Quick question about that. Does people from the United States in Havana, Cuba?
Yeah, so what it is in Havana, Cuba, there is like the US embassy in Cuba. So we've got like the diplomats stationed there. And
I'm from Cuba. I heard about that, but yeah. I've never heard about that thing.
Yeah, so here's the thing is there's no proof that it's even happening or who is even doing it. There's evidence of it being done to US diplomats in Russia as well, US diplomats in China. There's been some evidence of maybe an attack happening like 2 weeks ago. Somebody employed this thing outside the White House. So no one really knows, but there's no proof even that this microwave weapon exists. There's just a bunch of people who go and work in nations other than here, and then get these really strange, no one's quite sure what they are, brain conditions that it seems very unlikely that would happen by pure dumb luck to multiple people stationed in the same place. So it's this like big question mark of like, we're getting to the point in like cyber, the world of cyber, where it's not just these attacks that we understand. We're literally having potentially like James Bond-esque secret weapons being deployed without anyone quite knowing, even if they exist. So that's one other thing to keep your eye on. It's just a fascinating story. These sorts of like weird people having strange side effects after being diplomats in various countries has been going on for about 20 years, but it wasn't until 2016 that somebody was like, wait a second, there's a lot of different people who are showing these same very bizarre symptoms, and they've been stationed in the same places around the world. And so really no one knows what the hell is going up. There was a big science article this week claiming that at least in theory, it could have been a microwave weapon. And then a bunch of other people who've come out and said there's absolutely no evidence that such a weapon even exists. So no one knows what's going on. If it is happening in Cuba, no one would know if it's the Cuban government, if it's some individual actors, if it's somebody completely unrelated to Cuba. Like nobody knows what's happening. If it's happening in Russia,
to be honest, I kind of heard the United States embassy is not in Cuba anymore. It's only like an office what they keep over there. Because it happened something that they were complaining about, something that it was happening to the ears or something like that. And then Trump was like, yo, this is Cuba, the one that is doing this, they're just gonna take everybody out. And I heard something like that.
Yeah, that's the story that I'm talking about, is there was suddenly ringing in the ears. And so Trump and the US government was like, Cuba must be behind this. But in truth, other than the fact that it took place in Cuba, there was no evidence of who was behind it. It's just this giant mystery. It's almost like a Sherlock Holmes case where, like, in 20 years, when they figure out what's going on, there's going to be a great true crime book about what the hell is happening here and who's behind it and what the causes were, and etc. So that's another sort of news story to keep an eye on. It's just a fascinating thing where we literally have science fiction weapons being posited. So with that, thank you all for sticking with me through the semester. Hopefully you learned some things. With that, I just want to say goodbye. Have a great summer. If you have any questions about anything, the fact is I'm probably a little more plugged into CUNY than you all are, which means like I at least get some emails to faculty that you don't. So if you have any questions about what reopening in the fall is like, what is being expected about vaccinations and going in person, how many classes will be in person versus online. If you have any questions about that sort of thing, feel free to ask. I'll be around all summer. I'm not quite as good at checking my email, but if you email me, I will get back to you. And that's really all I have to say. Thank you all for being a great class. Have a great, good luck with the rest of your finals. Good luck with the rest of the COVID craziness. Hopefully by the end of the summer, we're back to something kind of like normal. For those of you who have gotten your vaccinations, congratulations. For those of you who have not and are planning on it, enjoy. It's not as bad as it seems. And finally, if at any point you wanted to talk to somebody about vaccines, you're worried, anything like that, I happen to be here if you just want to talk to somebody. All right.
Professor, do you think they're gonna keep some online classes for fall
Yes.
semester? Oh,
So
great.
I know as a matter, like I, for one, will be online, and the plan originally was for a lot of classes to be online, or even the majority, and they are going to be transitioning some to in-person, but John Jay, I'm pretty sure is gonna stay, a lot of classes are still gonna be online. Things like
Good.
science labs and the like will be in person, like things that are much easier, but the majority of classes I think will still be online.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Sure. Thanks for a great semester.
Thank you all for a great semester as well. All right, I'm gonna stop the recording and tell you all have a good weekend. And again, if you need an extension on the paper, just reach out. All right, have a good one.
All right, take care.
Thank you,
everybody.